class. I took the listening quiz. I think it's pronounced by Dr. Goofy. After taking the quiz, I somehow scored 45 points, meaning that like somehow I'm an above average listener, which like I'll take the score, but I know that I can do better to be a better listener. Whether that's like maintaining eye contact while people are speaking or just showing somebody that I'm engaged in the conversation, whether it's fixing my body language, listening to like actually what they're saying, like trying to interpret the message that they're trying to get across. Um, and that's like obviously what we learned in chapter 7. Um, I feel like my strengths of listening is that like being able to understand people's emotions and like connecting with them and like, you know, it's like that's just a part of like human nature. It's like connecting with people. So like I feel like that's one good thing that like I'm good at. But I also feel like that ties into my weaknesses because when I'm trying to relate to somebody when they're talking to me or when I'm trying to like connect to them, I might tell a story that I went through, an experience that I went through, but then like I feel like in my head, like that's like me being self-centered and relating like the story back to me when I like that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to relate and connect to that person. So I feel like that's a weakness, like finding a better way to connect and relate to people without bringing the story back to me. But it's like it's my way of making them like I don't know feel better. Like I know it's okay. Like I went through that too, so I know how you feel. Like there's no reason to be ashamed or embarrassed or anything like that. But what are you working on? And like I'm just working on like I said, like fixing my body language, maybe not crossing my arms while people speak, nodding more, like that. Those are the things like basically the nonverbal cues to show that like I'm engaged in the conversation. Like I don't just want to stare at somebody with blank eyes while they're talking, like I want them to know that I'm listening. I could do better at that. And then like my pet peeve, my listening pet peeve would probably be like knowing someone's lying while I'm listening to them, but still having to listen to the story or whatever it might be, whether it's a politician, whether it's, somebody I grew up with, it's just like a random person. I don't want to use the word hate, but I dislike it so much because I know you're not telling the truth. You know you're not telling the truth yet. We're still here. We're still here talking. Um, After taking the chapter 8 quiz, like I obviously learned like there's more that I need to do to be better at like not necessarily controlling my emotions, but letting my emotions, I guess, run free. I don't know, like um after I took the quiz, it says that based upon your quiz, you appear to have mid-range boundaries. This type of response indicates you may have some qualities or characteristics of both thin or thick boundary people. Basically, to summarize it, respond more strongly to physical and emotional pain in themselves as well as others. Become stressed or fatigued due to an overload of sensory or emotional input. Be more allergic in their immune system are seemingly more reactive. Be more deeply affected or recall being more deeply affected by events during childhood. So yeah, like that describes me. That quiz describes me. Um, as far as like what I could do, like I do well at understanding my own emotions. Like I feel like I'm very self-aware. Like just last year, like I went to therapy after getting out of like a 5-year relationship because like I knew that's what I needed to do emotionally. I knew I wasn't right emotionally. So yeah, I feel like I'm good at understanding my emotions and knowing why I feel the way I feel. But the emotions of others, I feel like I do a good job of like understanding them too, like I said earlier, and like connecting with them. But I feel like there are times when I was younger, like I would be like emotionally unaware, like of like the situation, which I feel like that's just a part of growing up. Like, like there's a setting for everything. That was actually one of the questions in one of the quizzes. So like I feel like that was like one thing that like about other people's emotions that like I needed to do better on. Um my strengths would be like again like being self-aware, so knowing like when I reacted in a way that was like over the top or like um just having the ability to not be like I'm right all the time. That's one thing that I feel like I'm very good at. And then one weakness would probably be like letting others' emotions like dictate mine and like how I feel and my mood. And like that was one thing I did for too many years that like I just don't like just reading someone else's face and then letting it dictate how I'm about to take this interaction or this conversation or anything like that. And then my emotional pet peeve probably would be just being too hypersensitive, like keening in on like every comment or any, like or taking a message the wrong way, like and it hurting my feelings in a way that it shouldn't have. Like, I don't know. I need to do better on that. That's a weakness for sure. And then my emotional pet peeve would probably be, I think I just said it. Um, my emotional pet peeve, yeah, it would probably, I already just said it. I don't know why I just repeated that. But yeah, thank you.